Hi everyone, my name is Pranya Ketu and welcome to this series on the essentials of Sangha Online. In this video I'm going to introduce you to the 4 key principles for running successful Sangha events using Zoom. Zoom is, I'm sure many of you are aware, it's a very popular web conferencing platform, and it will enable you to do just about any activity that you normally do in person in your Sangha events, but just online instead. Okay, so my first principle, in fact the main principle of running successful Sangha events on Zoom is to spell out clearly to your participants everything basically as you go along. So you probably need to repeat yourself at regular intervals as people arrive and leave and so on. But there's quite a difference between running events online and running events in person. So when you're there in person, people are able to kind of pick up from other people, pick up from your non-verbal communication, or even just the atmosphere of the room. What is the appropriate thing to be doing at any one stage? Whereas when it comes to online platforms, instead what people need to rely on is what they're told. You know, they are relying on the thread of your of what you say, of your voice. So it's very important that you make everything as explicit as you can as you go through. For example, suppose somebody arrives into your event, well, welcome them. You know, welcome them by name. You might need to wait a second or two for their audio to catch up, but yeah, welcome them, say hello, introduce them to what's going on. And you have to do this a number of times, but the effect on that will be that people will feel more settled, they'll feel more part of what's going on. You'll also need to spell out what kind of participation is appropriate at different parts of the event. So, for example, if you're giving a talk, you'll want people to be muting their microphone. You'll want every other microphone to be muted apart from yours, so that the camera can be just on you rather than sort of moving between people as their cat goes onto the keyboard or whatever. So you ask people to mute their microphones when you're giving a talk or giving input. Also if you're leading meditations. And if you've got a group discussion going on, particularly a larger group discussion, what you want to do is ask people to unmute their microphone to contribute and then mute their microphone to kind of once they're finished. You can also tell people that they can text chat with you and with others in the Zoom platform, and the way they do that is by going on the little speech bubble icon, and then they can type things in. So that's a way of them being able to ask questions or comment without actually interrupting the flow of what you're saying. Also, you need to spell out what the shape of your event will look like, particularly if you've got the free basic account. You'll need to explain that after 40 minutes things will be stopping, there'll be a break, and if you're going to continue after that, what people need to do in order to rejoin. So yeah, just generally making it as explicit as possible what you'd like people to do while they're in the Zoom room, as a way of making the event go as smoothly as possible. My second key principle is to prepare yourself and your surroundings for being online. So you're going to be preparing anyway if you're leading an evening, in the same way that you'd prepare normally, in an in-person class. But you'll also need to do a few things specific to preparing to be online. I've said this before elsewhere, but you need to make sure that the background, the environment that you're in, your surroundings are pleasant. Ideally, if you're leading something, there's a shrine, shrine in the background, a Buddha image that people can see. That the lighting of your room, the sound, they're clear, so it's not too dark, it's not too noisy, it's not too echoey, etc. You'll also want to turn off your notifications on whatever the device is you're using to broadcast from. You don't want kind of messages or Facebook or whatever kind of pinging in while you're in the middle of giving a talk. And the other thing about preparing is giving yourself enough time to arrive early. Now that not only helps you to set up and get, just see, okay, the lighting's changed, I need to move that lamp somewhere over there or whatever. But it also means that when other people arrive, they've got a bit of time to set themselves up technically. There may be a few issues with that, and you could help with, and they can deal with. But also to welcome people as well. So you might even want to advertise in your event listings that it's like 7:15 for 7:30, and the 7:15 is just to help you set up. Okay, my third principle is to have a team. So just as in an in-person event, you'd have a team doing practical things like making the tea or putting out the mats and cushions, it can be really helpful to have at least one other person helping you on Zoom. And Zoom enables you to nominate a co-host or other co-hosts who have the various privileges to be able to help people mute themselves if they've accidentally unmuted themselves, to answer things in the text chat if necessary, or even evict anyone who's being disruptive. I've not heard of that ever happening. So what that means, and I noticed this leading a Sangha night on Zoom recently, what this means is that you can focus on hosting people, making them feel welcome. You can focus on the content without having to worry so much about the practical and technical stuff around you. And I've put a link to how you can enable a co-host and what the various privileges are that they can access in the description below. Finally, I recommend always hosting a Zoom event on a desktop or a laptop as opposed to a smartphone or a tablet. For some reason, the desktop version or the laptop version enables you to be able to do more things, particularly to have breakout groups and manage participants as well. I mean, it might be that it's possible to do those things and I'm just not spotting it. If you know how to do that, by all means, put a comment below. But yeah, doing things through a laptop or a desktop will basically give you the necessary functionality to run it smoothly. Okay, so here's my key principles for running successful Sangha events on Zoom. Again, so it's spell out to your participants exactly what you expect from them and how you want them to participate. Number 2 is prepare yourself and your surroundings for being online. Number 3 is have a team or at least just one other co-host. And the 4th one is to host your Zoom meeting on a desktop or a laptop rather than a phone or a tablet. Okay, thanks for watching. If you've got comments, questions, please put them in the comments box. Otherwise, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hopefully see you again before too long. Lots of love to you all.